Pet All the Dogs collection is now available. The link is in the description below. What is up, you guys, and welcome into our awesome channel. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to see our daily entertaining videos and make sure to hit the notification button to stay tuned. In this video, when a girl who waves at a cop suddenly stops, you knew something was wrong. What was wrong exactly? Make sure to stick to the video. It started like any other day. Jeff Cloven started on his daily patrol of the neighborhood and looked over to the scale home for the small, familiar hand in the window. Today, however, there was no child excited at the window. No child at all. A dreadful feeling hit the pit of his stomach. Young Clint Scales had a rough start. Born and raised in a bad neighborhood in Kansas City, Missouri, she wasn't given many chances to succeed in her life. The 9-year-old often went without food and had other things to worry about besides her lack of nutrition. She wasn't alone in the house. She had 2 younger brothers to take care of, who also weren't getting enough nutrition. With her mother never around and stuck in a neighborhood characterized by unkindness, a heavy responsibility weighed on young Clint. She'd have to do the unthinkable in order to keep her and her brothers healthy. In order to feed her family, Clint had to do something no child had ever had to do: steal. Slinking into the local 7-Eleven gas and convenience store, Clint tried to make off with food she had and her brothers needed. Guilt plagued her, and soon she was reported to the police. The Kansas City Police Department became aware of Clint and her family, and the responsibility with which Clint had to make her decisions. One officer named Jeff Cloven often patrolled the area, and made it his mission to keep an eye on them. He'd soon find this decision paramount to the family. It all began with the simplest of human greetings, the wave. Though Clint Scales never knew his name, she would wave excitedly at him through the window of her home, and the cop would always return it. Gradually, her waves became more excited each time he passed. Through his routine, the acquaintanceship became something more. Through all the bad situations, Clint Scales said as an adult, "I would just picture him saying that he was here for us, and that if we would ever need him, he would be right here." Those words would come to me during the worst times of my childhood life. But were they true? Given that her mom wasn't around often, Clint couldn't have anyone to rely on but the officer who passed her window every morning. "He was the person that I trusted in my life as a kid," Clint said. When the officer passed her house and she didn't wave back, the faith was tested. When he didn't see her hand, the concerned officer decided to check on her. This turned out to be the right call, because when he opened the door, he was shocked to find her on the ground, struggling to breathe. He quickly got her to the hospital, wondering if she'd live. He never found out, after leaving the hospital, the girl who turns out that had severe malnutrition was whisked away to Texas by her family. She never learned his name, and he hers. It wasn't until Clint was an adult with children herself that she wanted to change that. Determined to find the man who saved her life, Clint used social media to reach out and see if anyone knew who it had been who'd rescued her that day when she'd been all alone. As time stretched on, she almost lost hope in finding her cop, until she got a comment one day. The message was from Jennifer Jones, a sergeant of the Kansas City Police Force back in Missouri. She knew exactly who Clint Scales was talking about, and decided to arrange a meeting between the two. But would the cop, who'd probably saved countless lives before, remember his little window buddy after so long? Turns out that he'd thought about her and wondered whatever happened with her. Ecstatic at finally meeting again, he of course agreed. The two set up a time, and Scales even cried with joy when she saw him. And she had big news to tell her childhood guardian angel, as she called him. It turns out, inspired by his actions, that Clint Scales became a police officer herself in Houston, and now that she knew his name, she added another reminder as to why she protected the streets like he had. A personalized bracelet of his name and the words, "a true hero." His impact didn't stop there, however. The Kansas City police shared the story on Facebook, and soon the stories came tumbling in from others who had been touched by Jeff Cloven. It reminded him why he became an officer of the law in the first place. Scaled had one last thing to say on the matter, touched by the overwhelming response. Jeff Cloven is not just a hero to me, Clint said, but my guardian angel also. He was there when I had no one. I hope one day I can become someone's hero, or make a positive impact like you did mine. Sometimes, all it takes is a waving hand to influence a man's life and his community. So guys, make sure to leave us your comments on this overwhelming story and the role that the police officer played in Clint's life. And make sure to leave us a like if you enjoyed the video, and peace out.